Welcome to this session of Mindfulness, Awareness, and Compassion Practice. What we'll be doing today is a sequence of practices, centering and settling, which we'll do with our eyes closed. Then we'll open our eyes partway for what's called close placement, or holding the mind close in the present, which means connected with the body, because our body is always in the present. Our mind can go to the past and the future, but unless you have a time machine, your body is always in the present. And then we'll open our eyes fully and go to environmental awareness, connecting with our perceptions, which are still also connected with body, because it's our body that is perceiving the five senses. But we also have mental perception, and that is our thoughts. And then finally, we'll open even further our awareness to include all other beings and rouse our heart of compassion. So, when we have our eyes open, it's helpful if you turn your device or move your seat so that you're not looking directly into the screen, but have some space in front of you and able to look out beyond whatever device you're using and tune into the environment. But to begin with, let's gently close our eyes. We work with our posture and fully inhabiting our body. So take your seat. We want to have a stable seat so we don't have to move and we don't feel like we need to move. And we sit because traditionally the tendency, if you're lying down, the tendency is to fall asleep. And if you're standing up, the tendency is to want to move and go somewhere. So sitting is our stable, neutral posture. Feel like whatever you're sitting on, that your sit bones, the two bones under your butt, are, the weight is about equally distributed. So you're not tilted left or right. And then be aware of your uprightness, not tilted forward or back. If you can do this without leaning back against a chair, that's good. But if you have to lean back against something, just try to be as upright as you can. The idea is that our spine is upright, like a tent pole, and the rest of our body hangs from that like a canvas in a relaxed way. So we want to be upright but not rigid. And for that uprightness, if we feel like it extends beyond our spine being upright, but the back of our neck and the back of our head being straight up and down, our chin comes in naturally and the breath flows in through our nostrils and down into our lungs much more easily. As for your legs, if your knees are higher than your hips, it puts a little strain on your lower back and your legs. So if you're in a chair and your knees are below your hips, your feet can be flat on the floor. Lower legs perpendicular to the ground, feet about hip width apart. But if your knees are higher, just cross your legs gently at the ankles and let your knees open up and get lower than your hips. Your upper arms are also hanging straight down from the shoulders, perpendicular to the ground. And your forearms and hands swivel up, your hands palm down on each thigh respectively. We tend to curl forward a lot, especially working on computers in this day and age. So to improve our posture and the flow of air into our body, and also to uplift ourselves, feel like your breastbone, your sternum, lift it slightly up and forward just a centimeter, a quarter of an inch. You'll feel your chest widen, your shoulders naturally come back in line with your ears. Your shoulder blades pinch a little bit if you're doing this properly. But all happens by itself. All you have to do is raise that sternum just a tiny bit. So we have a firm, upright back, an open front, open heart. That gives rise to uplifted head and shoulders. Now we don't want our shoulders raising up, but more of a quality of dignity. Our jaw is relaxed, but not hanging open. So we're breathing mainly through our nose, definitely in through your nose, if you can. And a little air coming out through your mouth is okay. So your lips are very lightly touching or slightly parted. Your tongue can rest as it is, or let it rest gently against your upper palate just behind your front teeth, the tip of your tongue. And that is said to reduce the flow of saliva. Don't worry if you feel like you need to swallow, go ahead and swallow. If you need to blink, it's natural. Go ahead and blink. If you feel an itch or need to move, do it consciously. Just say, oh, that feels, that's starting to ache. I need to adjust my posture. But first, say, oh, I'm aware of the ache. Now I'm going to move, and then move, rather than just knee-jerk reaction. Be aware of your body and any tension you might be feeling. Any tension you're holding and not aware of in your face, your neck, and your shoulders. Just take a breath, breathe out, and let the tension melt. Let your shoulders just hang. Without opening your mouth, let your jaw relax. Let your neck, without losing your posture, let your neck relax. Upper arms and chest, rib cage all around. Lower back, only enough tension to hold your posture. Let everything else relax around it. Deep belly and pelvic region. Sometimes we're clenching and don't even realize it. Just let it melt, let it soften. Arms and hands, thighs, lower legs. Let the tension melt as if it can breathe out. Let the tension melt as if it's flowing down and out of you and absorbed by the earth. So it leaves you sitting firmly on the earth, firmly grounded. You can feel like your body is part of the earth, firmly grounded but upright, majestic like a mountain. In these practices, we let our breath come and go. We don't need to manipulate it. It's as if we're just observing and letting the body breathe by itself. We're aware if it's a long or short breath, deep or shallow. But we're just observing without bias. Breath coming and going. Like the gentle waves of a lake lapping up against the shore, running up a little and back down, very gently. And our intention is to let our mind be open to whatever we're experiencing. Again, without judgment, just noticing. Bodily sensations, thoughts, letting them come and go. And in all the practices we do, if a thought hooks you and takes you on a ride into a daydream, thought after thought after thought upon thought upon thought, at some point there'll be a gap, and you're instantly back in the present moment. At that point, just be aware that was daydreaming. This is presence. No judgment, no need for further commentary. So your mind is open to whatever comes and goes across it, like the sky. Body like a mountain. Breath flowing like the tide. Mind open like the sky. Let your awareness rest deep in the core of your torso. It's quiet down there. Not so much in your head, more in your body. That's the center of energy in the Eastern wisdom traditions. A couple of inches below your navel, just in front of your spine. Feel the depth, front to back as well as side to side of your torso. We're three-dimensional beings, not just two like we see ourselves in the mirror. Feel the expanding as the breath comes in, contracting as the breath goes out, deep in your core. It's the diaphragm pulling down to inhale and pushing up to exhale, but it feels like our whole torso. Let it feel like your whole torso is filling deep down into your core and then emptying from there. And now, so that we have some awareness of the space we're in, let your eyes open about halfway. Look down under your eyelids and soften your gaze so that it's more like you're looking at the space that your body's sitting in than any particular point. You're looking in one direction, but not at anything particular. Just aware of your body and your posture, sitting in this space, breathing by itself. We'll do that for a few minutes. refresh your posture. Now be sure that you can look out beyond your device. And open your eyes fully, let them rest naturally, which means your gaze will be slightly below horizontal, not looking down, not looking up, just natural. And then soften it and open up to your peripheral vision, side to side, up and down. And tune more into the sense of going out. You can ride the breath as it goes out. Going out, and use it to open up to the space so that you're less centralized, focusing on this, and more curious and interested in that. Out, open to spaciousness, aware of whatever is arising in your experience. It can include bodily sensations, but out there's also colors, shapes, shades of light and dark, sounds near and far, high and low pitched. You may even notice smells, tastes. Out, open and relax. At any point after you've taken a few breaths like that, if you just rest in that spaciousness, that's fine as well. Notice thoughts coming and going. They appear as if from nowhere, last a little while, and disappear to nowhere, like a bird flying across your field of vision. And again, if your mind gets taken by those thoughts off into a daydream, when you realize it, no judgment, just smile, and reconnect with the out-breath for a few breaths again. Out, open, relaxing spaciousness. We'll do that for a few minutes. As the gong fades, raise your gaze a little further, looking straight out to the horizon, even a little above. Let your awareness open up and imagine that it goes beyond what you can see and hear. That in your imagination, you include the whole planet. That your mind is as big as the sky. And everyone on this planet is under the same sky, walking on the same earth, breathing the same atmosphere, different experiences in different parts of the world. But it's all the earth and the sky. With that feeling of openness, raise your sternum again. You can put your hand over the center of your chest at heart level. And tune in to your open heart of care. We all have the capacity to care, to be kind, to feel. We feel for ourselves, and we can feel for others. Whatever pain, anxiety, or struggle you're feeling, you have company. You can be sure there's millions, maybe 1 billion people experiencing something like that. Whatever happiness and contentment you feel and would like to feel more of, there are 1 billion people who want to feel that contentment as well. So we all share this desire to be free of suffering, to have contentment, peace, and happiness. Imagine that as you breathe in, you're freeing everyone from their suffering. As you breathe out, you're giving everyone more happiness. At least taking away some of the suffering as you breathe in. Sending out the wish that all beings could be happy. Breathe in and gather the intention that all beings are free of suffering. Breathe out and send the wish that all beings could have happiness. You can do this with your eyes open or closed, whatever helps you rouse that feeling. It's all about feeling. You might think of a loved one who's going through some painful experience. Tune into your wish that they could be free of that pain. And then extend that to all beings as best you can. Think of how good it makes you feel when you make a loved one happy. You can multiply that by 1,000,000,000 by sending out happiness. We said all beings could have happiness like that. Now let go of everything you're imagining. Come back in presence. Lower your gaze. Just be in your body for the next minute or so. Feeling your breath come in and out. So to go further with our expression of caring about others, our practice is more powerful if we don't just do it for ourselves, but do it so that we can be more available to help others, to make the world a better place. So you can repeat after me or put in your own words, however you'd like. May the practice I have just done be of even more benefit to others than to myself. And that concludes our session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.